monthly earning opportunities. By now, you have ample time how our rates work. Now, let's try to understand this more by looking at a bigger timeline, let us say on a monthly basis, or maybe on a weekly basis, by looking at the tables below. So a full-time transcriptionist usually works around 40 to 45 hours a week. A half-time transcriptionist around 20 hours a week, and a quarter-time transcriptionist around 10 hours a week. So let's assume that an average transcriptionist can transcribe a 30-minute file in 4 hours. A full-timer therefore will be able to finish 60 audio minutes a day, a half-timer 30 audio minutes a day, and a quarter-timer 15 audio minutes a day. So let's try to look at full-time earnings. So here are the different rates. To take note of Tier 1, the rate is 20 cents per AM for a passing file. So let us say he is averaging around 360 audio minutes in a week. That's maybe for 40 to 45 hours in total. So he'll be earning around $72 in a week. And that will translate around $288 in a month. Convert that to pesos, that will be roughly around 12,000. So that's good, right? Now, if you're a Tier 2, the rate is much higher at 25 cents. Following the same logic as Tier 1, 360 AMs, that will equate to a weekly earning of around $90 and a monthly earning of around $360, which is equivalent to 15,000 pesos. For Tier 3, which with a rate of 30 cents per AM, so if that Tier 3 DE was able to finish 360 audio minutes in 1 week, then he will be able to earn around $108. And if this is done consistently on a weekly basis for 1 month, that will be equivalent at around $432. So if we convert that to pesos, that is 18,576 pesos. Now for expert DEs, the rate is already at 40 cents per AM. If that DE was able to finish 360 AMs after a week and is doing this consistently on a monthly basis, that is 4 weeks in a month, then he will be getting around 25,000 or 24,000 roughly after 1 month of transcription work. So that's really high, especially for a work from home transcriptionist. So if you are committed or able to work 48 hours in a week and produce 360 minutes worth of transcripts, just check out how much you'll be earning in a month. So that's really good money. Now let's see how much a half-timer and a quarter-timer would earn. So half-time earnings, so since they're only available 20 hours a day, so that's roughly around only 30 AMs in a day. So if that half-time earner will let us say log in 5 days a week or 6 days in a week, so that will be a total of 180 AMs in a week, right? So let's check out how will a Tier 1 transcriptionist half-time or part-time transcriptionist fare. So given the rate at 20 cents per AM and an average weekly audio minutes of 180, that will translate to a weekly earning of $36 and a monthly earning of $144. So if we convert that, that's around 6,000 pesos. Not good, not bad for a part-timer, for an extra job for at least 20 hours in a week, right? Now for Tier 2, since the rate is 25 cents per AM, so given the same logic as Tier 1, that will equate to around 7,740 pesos. Now as you go higher, Tier 3, same logic but higher rate, you will approximately get 9,000 pesos in a month. Then if you're a Tier 4 transcriptionist, you'll be probably getting around 12,000 for extra 20 hours of work in a week or in a month. I mean, in a week, times 4, of course, to make it a monthly on a monthly basis. So an extra 6,000 a month can definitely help pay the bills. So not so bad for a part-timer working from home. Now for a quarter-timer, obviously the rates will be much lower. So that will be around 3,000 for a Tier 1 transcriptionist, around 4,000 for a Tier 2 transcriptionist, around 5,000 for a Tier 3, and around 6,000 for a Tier 4. Now take note that the average weekly audio minutes for a quarter timer is only around 90 AMs. Okay? Now, this number is important, okay, as this is actually below the required number we are requiring for our contractors in order for them to be to be continuously active in our in Babbletype. We'll discuss that later. So if you're only able to work, let's say, 3 standard file assignments in a week, where one standard file is at least 30 AMs long, you will still be able to take home a decent 3,000 pesos. So imagine yourself reaching the top tiers, earning more monthly income just as a half-timer or quarter-timer. So wouldn't that be a pretty picture? Now always remember though that we require a productivity equivalent of at least 120 audio minutes a week in order for you to be active in our roster. So as I mentioned earlier, quarter timers are only averaging 90 audio AMs per week. So that's below our productivity equivalent that we require you in order for you to be active. So don't be contented with being a quarter timer and just hitting 90 AMs regularly in a week. Always aim for the minimum productivity equivalent of at least 120 AMs, or better yet, always aim for the maximum so that you can speed up your promotion process. And at the same time, you can even earn more. Now, how do we evaluate you? So we evaluate you using 2 key metrics. First, productivity, and second is quality. Now let's start with productivity first. So Babbletype will allow you to work anytime you want. We're not going to limit you to just a certain number of audio minutes in a day, or in a week, or in a month. There are no boundaries set on the amount of work you can receive, as long as there is work to transcribe. However, in order for you to stay with us, we would require you to finish a certain number of audio minutes in a week. In order for you to be an active Babbletype contractor, you should be able to finish at least a productivity equivalent of 120 audio minutes of transcribed work or audio auditing work in a week. So take note of that number, as that number is really important. At least 120 AMs of either transcribed work or audio auditing work in a week. So we want you to be a productive transcriptionist. And one way to do is to set up an hourly goal. As mentioned earlier, it usually takes a regular transcriptionist 4 hours to transcribe a 30-minute file, or 2 hours to audio audit a 30-minute file, since it will take half the time